This is the podcast helping to create, provide, and expand
winners in life.
Positively life-changing experiences through music for all.
Go for it!
This is the podcast that encourages everyone to
break ranks!
This week on Break Ranks,
everyone finds joy in winning.
We visit with the joy-filled Freeman High School marching band outside Houston.
They're out there pushing props and it's 150 degrees outside and they're like, you know what? We're going to choose joy. And it's working.
Maybe working too well.
Mr. Davis's joy is just like offensive.
Offensively joyful. I love that. It's a band from a brand new high school that just won a BOA class championship weeks after the school opened. That takes more than joy. That takes high expectations.
And if we want the kids to be extraordinarily successful, we got to start right now.
Sounds like a plan. We have high expectations of a joy-filled Break Ranks, and it starts right now. Hard to fathom that we're already halfway through the 2024 Bands of America season. There were 4 BOA regional championships held this past Saturday. We began on the teal blue field at Brooks Stadium in Conway, South Carolina. It's a new venue for BOA and a new announcer, too.
First place, score is 85.75. 85.75. The 2024 Bands of America Carolina Regional Champion, the James F. Burns High School Marching Band from Duncan, South Carolina.
I say new, but that voice is probably recognizable to anyone with even a passing interest in the marching arts. That is the one and only legendary Drum Corps International broadcaster and Hall of Fame member Steve Rondinero on the mic in Conway. Steve is on the faculty at Coastal Carolina University, so it was only natural to have a reliable Rondo announce this regional and to announce James F. Burns High School of South Carolina as our new regional champion. Burns took the High General Effect Award on their way to the win. Second place, Wando High School, also from South Carolina, was tops in music. And another South Carolina school, Catawba Ridge, took High Visual honors to come in third in finals. In prelims, Catawba Ridge also took home the Class Champions Trophy in 2A. South Carolina's Nation Ford High School, the 3A champ, and Wando won 4A. Next, we head to the Kibbe Dome in Moscow, Idaho for the first BOA regional in that venue in almost 40 years.
And in first place, with a score of 78.6, the 2024 Bands of America Idaho Regional Champion, the Cheney High School Marching Band from Cheney, Washington.
That's Nick Costella giving the good news to Washington State's Cheney High School. Cheney swept all 3 captions on their way to that historic win in Moscow. Idaho's Timberline High School was second. Oregon's West Salem High School came in third in finals. The class champions in the Kibbe Dome were Chowanna High School of Pasco, Washington, 4A. A.C. Davis High School, also of Washington State, took the 3A medallions. Cheney, the 2A title, and Washington's Eastside Catholic High School, the 1A champ in Moscow. Regional number 3 this past weekend was just outside Birmingham in Vestavia Hills, Alabama, and Alex Quintero was the announcer.
In first place, with a score of 81.550, the 2024 Bands of America Southeastern Regional Champion, the Kennesaw Mountain High School Marching Band from Kennesaw, Georgia.
Longtime BOA participant, frequent Grand Nationals semifinalist and finalist, Kennesaw Mountain High School, winning big in Birmingham and taking outstanding visual performance too. Outstanding general effect went to Tennessee's Munford High School, which also came in second in finals. Third place, Sparkman High School of Alabama took the outstanding music honors. In prelims, Cascade High School from Tennessee won 1A, Kennesaw Mountain 2A, Sparkman 3A, and Alabama's Hoover High School was the 4A champ. Finally, we head to Children's Health Stadium in Prosper, Texas, north of Dallas, and BOA's John Pollard.
And in first place, with a score of 87, the 2024 Bands of America North Texas Regional Champion from Flower Mound, Texas, the Marcus High School Marching Band.
Marcus High School from Flower Mound, Texas took outstanding music performance and tied with second place Wakeland High School for tops in visual performance to win and prosper, with Arkansas's Bentonville High School taking outstanding general effect and coming in third. The class championships all went to Texas schools. Marcus won 4A, Wakeland 3A, Liberty High School was tops in 2A, and Commerce High School claimed the 1A medallions there in Prosper. This time on Break Ranks, kind of looking at a BOA competition from a very different perspective. The perspective of a high school that's not only attending its first regional, but is attending its first competition of any kind as a brand new high school. I'm talking about Freeman High School in the Katy Independent School District in Texas, outside of Houston. You'll recall a couple of weeks ago, we had Stephanie Click, the color guard coordinator for Seven Lakes High School, also part of the Katy School District, talking about color guard and the problems and challenges that she faces on a daily basis. Well, this is different. This is a brand new school with right now just 9th and 10th graders. They just opened this semester, and we're going to talk to the director, Rory Davis, the associate director, John Liner, and Ameerah Lawal, one of the drum majors for Freeman High School. Thanks to all three of you for being with me. Rory Davis, let's start with you. I'm really excited about this conversation because I've never really had it with a brand new high school band director who not only is faced with the challenges of starting a band in a new school, but also you took on the challenge of going to a BOA regional in the first few weeks the school was open. Why did you do that?
Ignorance is bliss, right? No, thanks, Dan. I really appreciate it. And thank you, BOA, for this opportunity. We're really excited about it. You know, you take a job at a new campus and you have to decide, are you going to do all the things up front, or are you going to kind of dip your toe in the water? And we have some really fine students. They do a great job of taking instruction or receiving instruction and giving it back to you. And they're excited to learn. So for us, it was really simple. You know, we knew that eventually we would be going to BOA and doing all the things that all of our other district counterparts do. So why not start now? And, it's kind of, you don't know what you don't know. And we both have experience in that area, with larger schools. So that part of it for the directors was already taken care of. The biggest question for us was, would it be a positive experience for our students being at such a large contest with so many, just amazing, even some Grand Nats bands, in-house in the same competition. And so John and I talked, and we agreed that ultimately, and with the people that we consult with and our team, we all talked, and they said it would be a great opportunity for them to all come in. For the students to go to BOA. So we did. We entered the contest and put our nose to the grindstone, and the students came in and they started working. A lot of challenges with just the number of students and props and getting things here, and we're borrowing and begging and hopefully not stealing, but we're like, let's do this. We're going to do it, so why not now?
John, tell me the same story from your perspective. What was that conversation that you had with Rory like about going to this BOA competition?
I'd say it's bigger than one conversation. We've known each other for 20 bazillion years, 20 plus. We'll go with that. So Rory was actually my middle school band director.
Oh.
And so the conversation about getting the kids where we want them to be, it really started when I first met him, because we have high expectations for everything that we do. And if we want the kids to be extraordinarily successful, we got to start right now. And so BOA is a part of that pathway. It's the biggest competition that there is. So why wait? Do it now. But the high expectations thing is something we've always talked about. And the people that we consult, work with, have in-house here, they believe the same things. So this just naturally fell into play.
Ameerah, let's talk about it from your perspective. I take it you are a sophomore, right? You're a 10th grader?
Yes, sir.
Okay. First of all, that means you're pretty much going to be an upperclassman for your entire high school career, doesn't it? It's going to be like being a senior for 3 years.
Absolutely. Very interesting experience so far.
Yeah. How do you think about that? 10th grade's awfully young to be thrust into such a leadership role.
Yes. Actually, I came from Katy High School, and it's definitely cool to see the perspective change, because originally at Katy, I didn't even march because I had moved there recently. So I was helping push percussion equipment and everything for competitions and football games. So then to come here and then have the position as head drum major is such a cool change in perspective, and to see like how everything works behind the scenes. Because as someone like in the band, you don't really see what the drum majors do or what the directors are really doing, but you just see like what they want you to see. So now it's really cool being able to not only be the head drum major, but also in the school, be the upperclassman, because you never realize how much people look up to you and ask you questions. Like, I've never received so many questions before, and it's really cool to see like people looking up to you and just generally having such a big impact on people just from the general position that you have, not even from who you are originally.
Yeah. The drum major's biggest job is to answer questions, I think.
I've noticed that.
Everybody thinks it's conducting or leading, but it's answering questions, and it's being kind of a bridge between the students and the directors, right?
Absolutely.
Mr. Davis, can you comment on the job Ameerah and your drum majors have done? Because a lot of this has had to fall on them to be leaders and show these youngsters how it's done.
It's really unique. It's been amazing. We had our leadership tryout back in the spring, and we didn't know any of these students. A couple of them I knew from, clinics or whatever around town, but we really didn't know any of them. So we had our plan in place, and Ameerah and Soleil, they just kind of rose to the top, and they became the drum majors. And I will tell you, the teachers on campus, the parents, it's really unique and amazing. The people see them and see how they've taken to this, and it's incredible. Most people can't believe that they're a freshman and a sophomore. Everyone thinks they're upperclassmen already just by the way they carry themselves, the way they communicate with us, the way they communicate with students. Even when we were at BOA, everyone that came in contact with them was like, wow, these two young ladies are absolutely amazing, besides being delightful. And they don't get the big head. Every once in a while we say something, but for the most part, they're very, with it and very focused. And it's just a pleasure and a joy to have them in this position.
Mr. Davis, you brought up analyzing would our students benefit from going to a BOA regional this early on. So let's talk about that. Now that you're a couple of weeks removed from the Shenandoah regional, what were the tangible benefits?
I think most was just the rep, just being there and then being chosen as the Class A champion to do the exhibition, being able to perform twice in one day. I can remember back when the first opportunity that our students advanced to an area final here at UIL and being able to play twice in one day, the first time was very nerve-wracking. The students just didn't know how to perform twice in a day. And so for our students to be so young and to get the opportunity to perform twice in one day, with the second part of the day being with every single person at the contest, every band that was there at finals saw this little band from Freeman High School perform. The crowd was gracious. The BOA staff was amazing. And any reservations we had about having our band perform at that contest were quickly thrown out by the way that they were received and the way they performed in the bright lights, literally. I mean, it was amazing. I think our biggest challenge right now is trying to maintain the edge so that we can continue to perform. We have a contest tomorrow and then UIL in a couple of weeks. So having such a young group and actually keeping them engaged and being able to learn more, because, you go there and you do two movements, you still, have another movement you have to learn and you have to produce all the things, and we're not even close. So what normally you have your seniors and your juniors to help pull everybody along, these guys are the freshmen, the sophomores, the seniors, and the juniors, but we're doing a regular marching show. So we're not cutting back other than our, abilities, some things, but it's a challenge, but it's really great to see them do it.
But man, the depth of leadership you're going to have as this band progresses over the next couple of years, when Ameerah is a senior and her classmates are seniors and they've already been leaders now for 2 years, holy cow, you're going to be in good shape. I mean, John, does that feel that way?
Absolutely. And it goes beyond that too, because usually your freshmen and sophomores, you're just dragging them along and they can't cut it. They're on the sideline.
Yeah.
Well, everybody's in the show. Freshmen, sophomore, the half, everybody's in there. And so when we think from a leadership perspective, it's a tremendous boost. When we think from a playing perspective, tremendous boost. Marching, everything, because we're so small. we have time, air quotes on time, to give kids individual attention. And because we don't have other options, every kid is getting better exponentially in every aspect. It's really, really neat.
I've been remiss. I haven't asked you about the show. Who wants to talk about what Freeman is putting on the field this year?
I'll start. They may have something to add. The title of the show is called Choose Joy. And when I was hired here, the principal asked, hey, what are we going to see or hear from the Freeman High School band? She says, give me one word to describe the Freeman High School band. That was in the interview. And I said, I talk a lot, so one word is going to be very difficult. And she goes, nope, one word. I said, can I hyphenate it? And she said, yes. And I said, joy-filled. And she said, explain. And I said, I'm a person who's full of joy. I'm blessed to be able to do this. God has done amazing things in my life, and I'm not ashamed to say it. And everybody knows that. But the joy that I bring every day is something that I said would fill this band hall. John is the same way. And so that's the reason he's here, because he's a great educator, but he's also very positive and full of joy. And so we chose, between us and our designer, Greg Dalton, our coordinator, Levi Chavis, we all got together and said, Mr. Dalton said, why don't we just go with the joy theme? And we came up with Choose Joy. And it has really been an amazing show. We have Ode to Joy, of course. And, we also have Hymn Song of Philip Bliss in there.
Uh-huh.
And then Hymn to Freedom by Oscar Peterson. And then we have Joseph Curiel's Joy from Awakening. And so it's a really neat mix of all the music, and the students are buying in. And, even the parents are like, hey, Mr. Davis, today we're choosing joy. They're out there pushing props and it's 150 degrees outside. And they're like, you know what? We're going to choose joy. And it's working. It's everything we thought it was going to be. It's really working. It's really working. Ameerah, you want to?
I definitely think it's really cool because, originally, like back in spring, before we all came to Freeman, we had our spring mini band camp. And I remember they showed us Choose Joy. And, some people were like, oh, okay. And then then you come to the school and then you realize what that really means, because joy really does fill the band hall. And if Soleil were here, you would be able to see that she too is filled with joy, and it shows in the directors. And even if the show wasn't titled Joy, anyone would be able to tell that there is so much joy filled in the band hall. One of the students said that Mr. Davis's joy is just
Offensive.
offensive.
Offensively joyful. I love that.
And his joy, some say it blinds them too. So it's definitely something that, it's shown through everything that we do. And, it comes to a point where people, rather than beating themselves up or beating each other up, they realize that they have to find it in them to channel that energy, that anger into motivation to progress and work on themselves, work on the band, and all of that. Everyone finds joy in winning. So when we win and get better and notice our growth, we really choose joy and build everyone up, build each other up.
How old are you again?
I'm 15.
Uh-huh. Flip those around. You got the wisdom of a 51-year-old at least, Ameerah. Pretty amazing.
Thank you.
Amazing.
Everything is centered around the joy piece, and that's from the people that we've got. Starts with Mr. Davis and on down. And it's really cool because you always want everybody to have a positive attitude. It doesn't matter what organization you're in, but it's such a great calling card, because when the parents are pushing the props and they're out there and it's 1,000,000 degrees, choose joy. When things aren't going so well in the band hall, Mr. Davis and I will look at each other, choose joy. No matter what the situation is, the joy is a great reminder. And as we know from different things, whether it's sports or music or any activity, we always talk about the psychological aspect of things. And when the constant reminder is joy, 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 it multiplies and multiplies. It's incredible. So we've got a foreign exchange student. Her name is Selma. She's never been in band before. She's had some piano lessons so she can read some music. So we've got her playing synth. And she's from Denmark.
Okay.
We'll come off of a performance at a football game and we'll talk about it the next day. And, we're analyzing it, ripping it to shreds, and we'll go to the kids. Hey, what'd you think? What was your perspective? And the kids are, oh yeah, this measure, this set, we got to fix this. Selma, oh my goodness, this was wonderful. It was so incredible. I just love this. This is like something out of the movies. And you just step back and you can't argue with her. You're like, you're right. This is pretty incredible. We're so blessed to have this opportunity to get up play music at a high level, have the resources and support and community that we do to be able to do music. And for that perspective, she's like, my sister she has a twin sister who is also in an exchange program that's a music-based one. We do more music in the public school here in Texas than that particular school that her sister's at.
Wow.
And so we're talking about perspective, like, oh my goodness. So every time you can count on Selma to have that just joy insertion, even when you don't want to be, she just got it for you. It's really cool.
Offensively joyful. All three of you, thank you for bringing joy to Break Ranks. This has been a delightful conversation, and we're so glad that Freeman A exists, and at B, that they just went face first right into the BOA experience, and I'm glad it's been beneficial for the program. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Band Director Rory Davis, Associate Director John Liner, and Drum Major Ameerah Lawal from the brand spanking new Freeman High School in Katy, Texas. The second half of the BOA Championship season begins this weekend, and that means Super Regionals start. I, along with John Pollard, will be at the nonstop 2-day Indianapolis Super Regional featuring performances by 89 bands in prelims. We also have 3 regional championships Saturday: Johnson City, Tennessee, Newark, Delaware, and Waco, Texas. The season is marching by at 200 beats per minute. Whatever happens this weekend, hear about it right here next week. Until then, go for it. Break ranks.